Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Wednesdays with Larawana. Every Wednesday, right here on CannaWannaBuy.com, we bring you the latest information on adult use and medical marijuana from all over the globe. This week, from TheAtlantic.com, was marijuana really less potent in the 1960s? One of the strongest known strains of marijuana in the world is called Bruce Banner No. 3. This is probably an appropriate nickname. With a THC concentration of 28%, Bruce Banner No. 3 packs a punch. It's something like 5 times as potent as what federal researchers consider to be the norm, according to a 2010 Journal of Forensic Science paper. For years, people have talked about the increasing marijuana potency. The idea that pot is getting stronger, much stronger than the stuff that got passed around at Woodstock, for instance, is treated like conventional wisdom these days. Maybe it shouldn't be. It's fair to be skeptical, says Michael Kahn, the president of Massachusetts Cannabis Research, a marijuana testing and research lab in New England. Back then, the predominant method of quantification was gas chromatography, which is not quite appropriate for cannabinoid quantification. This is because it heats up the test material before analysis, which alters the chemical profile, including breakdown of the THC molecule. Kahn's lab uses a technique called liquid chromatography instead. Another potency tester, Denver-based Can Labs, uses a similar method. Depending on what the sample is, flour, hash oil, hundreds of edibles ranging from ice cream to pasta sauce to seeds, you use different solvents to do the extraction, said Jennifer Murray, the CEO of Can Labs. You mix it with a special solvent, basically shake it around, centrifuge it, and then it goes into the instrument. That's the liquid chromatograph. More recently, researchers found that THC concentration that gradually increased from 1993 to 2008, according to a 2010 paper in the Journal of Forensic Sciences. And despite testing limitations, researchers have always maintained potency is likely trending upwards. The change in cannabis potency over the last 40 years has been the subject of much debate and controversy. The Potency Monitoring Program has strived to answer this cannabis potency question while realizing that the data collected in this and other programs has some scientific statistical shortcomings. In other words, it's difficult, if not impossible, to classify average potency in a way that can be tracked meaningfully over time. So while there's almost certainly more super strong pot available today, if only by the fact that it's now legal to buy in multiple states, it doesn't mean that all marijuana is ultra potent today, which is how the narrative about potency is often framed. There's also a point at which most strains can't get much stronger. Anyone getting a reading of 25%, it's really hard to do, said Murray of Can Labs. And then it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to, quote, unquote, get higher. There's a lot of things that go into the plant, over 500 constituents of the plant that play into this. It's the entourage effect that they're talking about. Even without knowing reliability, what potency was like in the 1960s and 70s, it's reasonable to guess it will increase, says Kahn of Massachusetts Cannabis Research. I think the mega potent strains may soon represent the norm. If not already, the market selects for the potency. But the customers clamoring for the strong stuff, that's also a question of whether manufacturers are labeling accurately. A Denver Post investigation last year found wide discrepancies between labeling and THC content in many cases. Products advertised a much higher percentage in many cases of THC than an edible product actually contained. Either way, a shift towards high potency has arguably more to do with the contemporary market forces than with the younger generation of marijuana enthusiasts. The baby boomers have been growing for 40 years, Murray said, and now they can grow without being worried about the police. Well, that's it for this week. Don't forget that every week on CannaWannaBuy.com, Check them out for great products in the cannabis industry, whether you're a patient, a head shop, a dispensary. Great products, great prices, and fast shipping. Don't forget my weekly medical marijuana radio show at mmjradio.com. That's 7 p.m. Saturday evenings Mountain Time. That's 9 on the East and 6 on the West Coast. Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love.